St. George, Utah. Going to Brigham Young's winter home. Somewhere up here. Okay. Built in 1916. All right.
Oh. That's cute. Along the waistline.
All right. Where's Brigham Young house? Is it here on the right?
On the left over there.
I don't
No,
know.
that's Mulberry.
I was thinking about this one, but I don't know where this is. Winter house in St. George, Utah.
Where'd he go in
This
the
is
summer?
pleasant.
He was up in Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Come here for the winter. You see the sign? Is it this one on the right? Yeah, it is. Brigham Young. All right. No, you can't beat free, can you? No, that's pretty nice. Beat 1871. All right.
How are you? Great. How are you? Good. Would you like to go inside?
Yes, we
love
would.
It.
Good. Where are you from?
South Carolina.
So it's quite a bit more expensive when you go outside.
That's what it is. It's free for
Yeah,
here.
Yeah.
free for outside.
That's okay.
I wouldn't blame you.
We have a son who lives in Charleston. So
Oh,
beautiful. We've
okay.
been out there
Really?
lots to visit. So
That's where you're from?
South Carolina. That's
South
right.
Carolina.
Oh.
We're from Aiken, which, you know, if there's Greenville, Charleston, Aiken.
Take pictures?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is nice.
Have a seat for just a moment.
Okay.
And then we'll move on to the house. Later then, in the spring, and then he came every year, the first 9 years in the spring, because he loved these people. He'd sent them here, he knew them, and he came to check on them every year. Which is quite a trip from Salt Lake
Yeah.
by wagon or...
Back then, yeah.
Yeah. But then the last 7 years, he decided to come in the wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
His health had deteriorated a little bit. He had rheumatoid arthritis in his feet, so you know how your knees
Oh,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
worse if you had to walk on that all the
Oh.
time. But at the very top, and then this is George A. Smith. He is the man that St. George is named after.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Over the years.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really ask anybody about that, but I'm thinking they definitely would have had some plumbing, I would think.
Yeah. When did the church reacquire?
I don't know, I think it was in the 70s.
Oh, really?
So,
Because we visited, what's that other thing? And where were we?
Nauvoo.
Nauvoo.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back then they didn't have any
Right.
plumbing,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
That was very interesting.
Well, come on now. Well, this house was built in the 1860s,
Okay.
so
Nice high
it
ceilings.
didn't originally have any fine floors either. Now, this part you noticed with the high ceilings. We're going to walk into the original part of the home. When Brigham bought it, he had this front part of the house added on to. So this part is more fancy. The ceilings are higher, and it's just a little bit prettier than the rest of the house. That is a picture of Brigham and his wife Amelia. She was here 6 of the 7 winters that he was in his home. And she played the piano beautifully. So this is not an original piano, but they're certain that there would have been a piano here. Because they would have entertained. She sang as well, and he sang also. So, but this is where he would have transacted church business while they lived here. Of course, that picture would not have been hanging here when he was here, but that's a reproduction of a photograph that was taken in 1876.
Yeah.
You'll also notice as we're going through the house that there's his bedroom is one of the parts that was added on. It's above us. There's only one way for him to come down to eat and take care of people he needed to see, and then one way back up to his bed, so his feet had to hurt a lot going up.
Yes.
So this was an addition to the original home.
That's the
Thickness of the wall.
right.
Man, that's like 3 feet.
Yeah. Well, the addition, when we go outside, you'll be able to see the addition is made of adobe brick.
Okay.
And this part is north clapboard.
Ah.
That fireplace surround is made of pine.
Oh.
Just painted it to look like.
Isn't that
But you
something?
can see
It
it's
looks
chipped
like
in.
marble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's chipped in a couple places. You can tell.
Right.
That it's not.
But clever.
So
China.
Brigham liked to eat at home because he realized that he felt better when he ate wholesome, good food. I think the older we get, we realize there's a difference in what we eat and how we feel.
Yes.
So he preferred to eat here because he knew he could eat wholesome food, but he loved to have people come eat with him.
It's a nice porch.
We go on into the kitchen.
Oh.
Remember, this was a winter home.
Mhm.
So, this time of year, they would not have cooked inside. They would have been cooking outside somewhere. It gets too hot in St. George in the summertime.
Oh, let's have her feet.
And he
Yeah.
has this.
Yeah, that's pretty steep. Historic steps.
Who do you think would have slept up here?
This is where the hired help would have slept.
Okay.
Brigham hired people that needed the work, and then he treated them very, very well. He didn't let his family call them servants. They were the hired help. He appreciated everything they did for him, and that respect went both ways. This is a very nice room for hired help back in that day.
Yeah.
It would usually been in a little cubby somewhere tucked away with no light.
Right.
But this
I'm gonna watch. Low hanging bridge. That's not so bad.
wardrobe. So this is where his wife Amelia would have slept. She would have been in charge of the hired help
Oh, okay.
and also helping Brigham with his health. She had some nursing skills and could help him out. And she may have even helped with the people coming to the house as well. There isn't anything original in here, although the piece in the corner back there, that pretty piece, bird's eye maple, made out of pine, it didn't look like bird's eye maple, was in the Young family. So not original to the home, but they donated it back to
Oh,
the
nice.
yeah. Of course, all of Amelia's clothes would have gone in that wardrobe. Because they didn't put closets. You know, walk up into the upper part of what was added on. To the hall.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're
Yeah, the high
saying.
ceiling, such a beautiful room.
It is.
The pace for Brigham Young was a lot slower when he was here in St. George compared to Salt Lake City, just because much smaller place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure some of the church business that he would have taken care of up there could wait while he was down here, maybe.
Right.
So this is such a peaceful,
It is.
beautiful.
So this
room.
was his bedroom.
This was his bedroom.
Okay.
And everything's been restored back to the original colors. So the outside of the house, the inside of the house.
Oh.
This is the color that his bedroom was.
Place for
Yep.
tea.
The picture of George Washington is interesting because Brigham Young's father fought under General Washington in the Revolutionary War. So he
Really?
had mutual respect for George Washington. I love how they bevel the windows because
Yeah.
the walls are so thick. Quite a fancy,
Yes.
pretty bed. It's
Yeah.
actually made by that man who made the pretty table down there. You can kind of see that it's fancy like that.
They always look so short, but they say
Yeah.
they're really not that.
He was, is that chest of
Chest.
drawers on the north wall. That's Brigham Young's traveling chest. So it went with him in
This-
the wagon. Yeah, the one with the numbers.
I
With the
wondered
1, 2, 3.
why they had the numbers on it.
Well, it's, if you look closely, it's handmade and the drawers only fit in certain
Sure.
slots.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so they numbered them, so it's just easy to know where to put that.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
a-
now it serves us well for heating and cooling. But back in the day, especially if you go down to the tabernacle, they we put holes because these lanterns needed some ventilation also.
Oh,
So
okay.
that the fumes could be vented out.
Right.
Open all the time, and we go out the back door's open, it just gets really warm.
Oh,
Here, all
I
that
bet.
heat comes right up here. So, this is how he would get out onto the veranda.
Mm-hmm.
He can sit out there. They're not positive what he used all of this area for, but it's set up with this day couch. And then at night it pulls out. We'll sleep a couple of people.
Really?
Uh-huh. It's
Oh,
like a hide
okay,
bed.
yes.
Yeah, or trundle bed.
It's interesting. So the church or business
Yeah.
downstairs, so.
But in my mind, which is only my mind, I'm thinking if he had come up here and then somebody needed to see him rather than go back down these steps, he'd say,
Especially if it was so very close. And if you could have the doors
Long
open,
steps
maybe
for
they
somebody with
could
rheumatoid
sell
arthritis.
beer.
would you say?
I say long staircase for somebody with rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah, but
He
at
had to
least it's
struggle.
not as steep as the.
Yeah, the one coming up was very steep.
Yeah. We had a.
All right, we'll walk over there.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go over to the office, which to us as members of the church is the most sacred spot on the property. So I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Okay. Back door.
All right. Okay.
Looks like it probably about double the size. Yes. It's pretty. It's simple, but it's pretty. You know, and not a lot of flashy ornate.
Cool room in here.
Oh man. This is the office?
Yeah.
Office, not his office.
This isn't used for very long. I only used it for about 4 months. I have a seat, and I'll tell you. I mentioned to you that he was here those last 7 winters because of his health. Also, during that period of time, that tabernacle that you can walk down and see
Right.
was being finished up. It took 14 years to build, but they started when they were just trying to survive. So
Oh.
it took.
From the back, that's the office. Got a little vineyard over there. Yeah. Okay, babe. Tomorrow they're gonna have the swim, bike, and run competition here. Ironman World Championship.
Wow, that is
Man.
look how close you are. Then you get to do it all. Oh, I think what the worst part would be
Historic St. George Tabernacle. Free tours. And getting set up for the Ironman competition. All right. Let me get the president of the Cotton Mission. Okay. Welcome. Come on in. Yep.
Especially for you.
Just us
Started
two.
her tour. But you may think, oh, Sister Thompson doesn't even know who's here. So, yeah, Sister Thompson. Ooh, what is that?
It's just a camera. It's okay to take pictures.
Oh, yeah, you can
Yes.
take all the pictures you want.
Oh, good.
Hey, I was going to say, I know you're from the South. You sound like my husband.
I love it when someone comes. If they say Florida or Texas or Louisiana, I had someone from Louisiana. I just want to hug them. In fact, I just have a picture. This building was started in 1863, And it was dedicated in 1876, so it's been here for over about 150 years.
Yeah.
It does veins and everything, so it took a long time to build this building.
Yeah.
But, and also they only worked on it in the winter. It was too hot in the summer to pour that stuff. Okay. So, I don't know which direction. I think I'm going to take you this way. And usually go up the stairs. Look, come down.
Yeah, we can hear voices.
Good.
Because I hear them. Let's go all the way up here.
You say 1,500 people, but this won't hold 1,500, will it?
Not today, but originally it did. They had slat benches that were probably double these church benches. They were very close together.
Knee to back almost.
Knee to back. They had slat benches on the balcony. They could get 1,500 people in here, but they were smaller people than we were.
Yeah.
They didn't have McDonald's.
Restaurants and fast food.
Church pews in here, they're beautiful. They are oak. Everything in here is mostly pine. The balcony, it's stained to look like oak. But they put these in the 1950s, so they spread people out.
And this is original, the
Yes,
columns?
Yes.
It sounds like metal, but
They are wood.
wood, but
Wood,
they painted them.
and stained
Is
to
it
look-
pine wood?
It is pine.
Pine. Because we're over in this house, we saw a mantle, a fireplace mantle
I do
that
not know how
that was pine, but it looked like
It looked like marble.
Marble,
in
yeah.
that dining room.
Yeah.
That's my favorite man. Pine Valley, which is about 30 miles up Highway 18. They would cut the lumber and bring it down here. But all the wood in this building is pine. Painted to look like stone or oak.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did we get so lucky, Kath? We always get a private tour, just you and me. With somebody I can understand from North Carolina.
It was meant to be. I want you to look at the difference in the wood here and the wood here. This is the original 1860 wood. This building was closed in 2015. They shut it down for 3 years to make it, and they renovated it to make it earthquake proof. They took out the floor here in the assembly hall, replaced it with the best they could to match the original wood. But they put beams under the floor. They drilled into the sandstone walls and put rebar.
Wow.
They've tied this building together in case there's ever an earthquake here in St. George. This historic building should survive. Yeah. The little circle thing on top is electric. It was added later. There used to be a podium here, and the organ used to be right in that doorway. They moved the organ down here and took out this podium in the 1940s and put a piano here also. So a lot of concerts are given here. It is a pipe organ, and we will walk up there and I can show you the pipes. Down the building, there is a window where this door is on the outside. And we believe that they, when they made the building, they put 3 windows on the west side, but then they realized when someone's standing at the podium, the sun's coming in, blind the congregation. So they filled it in and put that backdrop, and it's beautiful. To think that was done by hand. They didn't have power tools in the 1860s and 70s.
And the decorations on the sides are perfect.
Of the Godhead. God the Father is in the center with the largest crown, His Son Jesus Christ, and the Holy Ghost. Original wood as they took when they renovated, and because this was lifted up off the floor, they kept all this wood.
They could.
But you can see the square nails, and to think that was done in 1870.
That is just hard to picture. Yes.
1875.
Like you say, almost 150 years ago.
Just one picture of the.
Or was it on the other side? How close? Oh,
Yes, look at that.
this was built before if you sit here, your knees are in there.
I was gonna say,
There,
you have
yeah.
to have legs like mine, which are very short.
Very short. Get up
I
here.
could do it
You get
without
someone
knees.
6 foot in here, and
Yeah.
they would have a hard time.
Right.
But I like where you come up here and look in here, and you can see the pipes to the pipe organ.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So,
The original organ was a pump organ, but this organ was put in the 1940s, and it's pipes.
and these are just decorative here.
Yeah, this is just to look pretty. So,
Wow, these are a lot of seats up here.
these seats were put in the 1940s. There used to be benches up here, but these were from the Salt Lake Temple Annex, a building next to the temple. They took them out and brought them and put them in here. These seats will be here during the millennium.
Yeah,
They're
they're solid.
wrought iron, and
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they
Oh,
work
they-
like a charm.
Oh yeah.
And I think these seats are close to 80 years old.
Whoa.
And they look brand new.
And aren't they pretty? They just
Yeah.
look
On
perfect.
the other side, it goes all the way, wraps all the way around.
So, I forgot to mention the grapes in the
Grapes.
there. The grapes were, the mold is, I'm going to show you here in a minute as we go down. There is a mold where they made these grapes. There was a grape industry here in St. George when they started out in the 1860s. They actually made wine.
Really?
And so that was to represent the grape industry here in St. George. The blossoms are cotton blossoms.
Blossoms. I
Right.
wondered.
Because St. George was started in 1862. That was in the middle of the Civil War. And we were outside of the United States boundaries. So the saints here in St. George made their own cotton and made their
Right.
own cloth.
And that
stuff.
is that how Dixie National Forest got its name?
This is southern, yes.
Yes.
It was because of the cotton mission down here, and the converts from the south, Brigham sent them down here because of the heat, and they knew he thought cotton would grow here and everything.
Right,
and
right.
It did. So it's called Dixie, even though today everyone's having a fit about calling it Dixie.
But don't give in.
Well, I don't think you can fight City Hall.
Oh,
Even the president of Dixie State University wants it changed.
that's crazy.
And it has
Everybody is so worried about being called racist when there isn't even race involved.
no, it has nothing to do with the South Dixie. I love the heritage of the Dixie, Utah Dixie, but
Yeah.
it most likely will be changed.
I hope not.
I know it's unfortunate.
No.
I do not know what happened to the original, but we have a picture of them downstairs, and the church had these made. They are aluminum. The original would have been cast iron, would have been very heavy. But those chandeliers will lower down from the attic. They bring them down about 2 or 3 times a year, and they clean the globes and change the bulbs. But they do lower down. So, but this is just
do
a
you think, babe?
beautiful building.
Comfortable.
Yeah, they are. They can get hard after a while.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You might want to bring a cushion if you get this wall, but it's way too low.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't see over it if you put it any higher.
That's right.
If you're sitting down. So I'm gonna.
Do you have something you need to?
No, I saw that door and it made me think. At 2 o'clock today, the bell to the tabernacle is supposed to ring.
Okay.
It's very muffled though, because they insulated the bell tower and you can't hardly hear it. But today is Constitution Day, and all the bells in America are supposed to ring at a certain time. And,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've got one out because I want to see if I can hear it. Right. All right. Come over here and look down. This is that beautiful spiral staircase. Oh,
That Mitt Romney's great great grandfather, Miles
yes,
Romney,
Miles Romney made this.
built.
And it is a work of art. He did it without power tools. I don't know how they bend wood and do this, but this was built by Miles Ronnie. Beautiful spiral staircase.
Man.
Nowadays, they happen for miracle, and he knows how to take stuff.
And Brigham Young made him drop. Originally, the floor was level here, and he made him drop it 5 feet.
My daughter
But they
teaches
couldn't change the staircase.
private school, and they still teach hers. They do both, even though the public stuff.
Writing it. Don't write the journal because they can't read it. Right. Well, back to the original wood again.
Okay.
The assembly hall they had to replace, but they kept this here. So, and you can see this is pine, and look how it's stained and painted to look like oak.
Yes, it does.
I love the thick doorways too.
No, but just the stone in this building. I'll let you take your time in here. You can read all this stuff. This is the mold that did those grapes.
Okay.
Okay.
That was the painting tools, the hammer and chisel that they used on the stone.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. Oh, and there's a picture of the attic, how they can lower down the chandeliers. Mm-hmm. This record stone was placed in the foundation of this building in 1863. It was discovered in 2015 when we closed the building down for 3 years to renovate it for the earthquake protection. You can see what was put in the building. It was in the stone. It was destroyed. This was the Bible. It was a Book of Mormon and a hymnal, a little hymnal there. Mm-hmm. That was a Deseret News newspaper. That bottle is what did the damage. It was a wine bottle to represent the wine industry here in St. George. You can see where the cork popped out over the 100 years, spilled all the wine,
And it decayed.
and it just destroyed
goodness.
everything in there. But now in 2018 they did replace this, and there's another record stone in the foundation. Another
That was so informative.
Yes.
I love
Make it very interesting.
I love giving tours.
But thank
Well, you did a very good
you.
job.
Travel safely home.
Back to not
North-
Asheville, but
Spruce Pine.
Spruce Pine.
Spruce Pine, North
Are you going to be
Carolina.
staying there now?
Until probably February. I told you I love baseball. Well, I go to all the Dixie State baseball games. So their season starts the end of February. So I'm
Told your
back.
daughter.
You'll be coming
okay,
back here.
I'll be
Okay, you're done. You've had your time.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Enjoy your visit.
Okay. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. They're getting ready for the Iron Man out here. That's why there's so many people. This is the start-finish line for the big Iron Man. It's funny, right outside the church.
So it's been going 13 hours?
I don't know. I think they restart it tomorrow at the race. The race is not until tomorrow, babe.
Oh.
World Championship, Ironman 70.3, what that means, St. George, Utah. Okay, let's go find us something to eat. This is Bear Claw waffles. What, breakfast by numbers? What do you want to do? I'm going to take it.
Ask us if there were
Okay, sounds good. You guys enjoy it.
And you got,
a Greek omelet.
yeah, I got my waffle and eggs and whatever.